transport, including our ports, is unaware of this scheme. Bypassing Parliament puts the viability of the projects at risk, given that the handover is scheduled to take place when Parliament is on a sine die, ensuring the illegality and corruption is effected and interrupted. There is also the issue of public interest. Where is the public interest in allowing takeover of our national strategic assets by a foreign company? Are Kenyans unable to manage our ports to a point where we cede these national strategic assets to foreigners? Are there no Kenyan companies that can redevelop cold chain logistics in Naivasha port? Further, lack of public interest raises serious concerns or questions about government commitments to Kenyans. What are the local content requirements provisions in the Lamu takeover contract? Will our people continue working at the port? Which public interest is served by redeveloping the Naivasha inland port? In whose interest, therefore, are our national assets being auctioned without citizens knowing? The answers to these questions only lead to one conclusion. The ongoing auction is meant to divert billions of shillings to some corrupt people's pockets, 5 weeks to elections, and further benefit senior state officers with undisclosed interests in the ports. Fifth, non-involvement of the counties. Paragraph 18 of Part 1 and Paragraph 5 of Part 2 of the 4th Schedule to the Constitution provides that transport, including matters relating to ports and harbors, is a function within the concurrent jurisdiction of both the national and county governments. It appears expeditious corruption that the counties of Lamu, Mombasa, and Nakuru and Kisumu were not consulted in respect to the auction of the ports. But this is not new. It is the history of this government that it chooses to abrogate the Constitution whenever state officers' interests are at stake. Sixth, there is the lack of cabinet approval on national strategic assets. And ladies and gentlemen, you will recall here that cabinet did not meet for almost 2 years.
Yes.
It was after the hue and cry from Kenya Kwanza'S that we saw a cabinet meeting being convened a few weeks ago. Ports the world over form part of national strategic security assets in the security architecture of a country. It shames Kenyans that the takeover of our national strategic and security assets by a foreign entity has been done without cabinet approval. It is our submission that national strategic assets belonging to the people of Kenya cannot be auctioned by one person in a manner akin to disposal of private personal property. In conclusion, in the light of the foregoing, we wish to go on record and call out the President of Kenya on this matter. There's a famous saying, we all know that if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then probably it is a duck.
Absolutely.
From the shortcuts we have exposed, the auction of loans of Azimio leadership. If government is humbled enough to come clean, the starting point should be to tell Kenyans who owns the contract company and what interests senior state officers have in the company. As patriotic Kenyans, we say no plan to defraud our people. God bless you, and God bless Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a long statement. I will need a breather. It was so serious, but my colleagues are also here. And the letter of the attorney is also going to be attached to the statement, so that there's a basis for this communication.
Good. Satisfied?
Like we're happy.
Good.
My name is Jeff. I work with AJAABU. In 2019, the president was telling to make, or rather the government to make public the contracts of SDR. To date, they have not been made public. And it appears like it's likely that the contracts about the port will as well go that direction. What because do Kenyans have?
Let me have a lawyer here.
Under Article 135 of the Constitution, there's freedom of information and the right to access to any information held by any public officer. Article 35. We as Kenya Kwanza have enough lawyers in our closet to go to court and demand this information, and we will do so. That the government ignored demands in the past doesn't mean they'll get away with it this time. And in addition to that, this letter signed by Ukuru Yatani and its content indicate that the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya is an accomplice to this fraudulent transaction because he has sanctioned the transaction. In comparable democratic jurisdictions, the attorney and Justice Kariuki must reconsider their positions and resign and leave office, one, in the name of accountability, but more importantly, for fair and transparent investigations to be carried out in their conduct. That they may not leave because impunity is the other name for the government of Jubilee, headed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, that they will not leave only lends credit to the statement that we have issued today, that there's an opaque, corrupt, stinging, and above all, anti-people transaction aimed at robbing our assets, which we as Kenya Kwanza, the incoming government by August this year, will not countenance, and we will, and we want to tell them clearly that they may ignore this statement for now. After 10th August, it will be a different ballgame. And you all know that we have other stinging transactions that will much sooner than later be releasing in small doses to them for Kenyans to know the saga behind the expressway and many other things. Thank you.
Okay. Institutions that have to follow Parliament and so forth, we could easily enter into very dangerous engagements with other people.
Thank you.
From what you are presenting the statement, it seems that you know who really owns the Dubai ports exactly. Will you tell us who really is behind this? My second question is, given that it is 5 weeks before the Jubilee administration gets off government, is it a little too late for us to cry out loud? Because Parliament is on standby. Institutions have been blamed to take the side of the executive. But where is the
I'll make a comment and then I'll allow Mutua to also comment. This This is the perfect thing that you call the scorched earth policy. When people are exiting, they try to do so many things in a hurry, so that the incoming government walks in and finds all the wells, water wells have been poisoned. Okay? That is what you call the scorched earth policy. Yani ukihama, unahama ukiharibu huko nyuma, ili mtu akija asipate nafasi. Yeah? So the message we are putting out here is that why would an outgoing government be in a hurry to engage in such obligations? Why don't you allow these to be suspended? Let the next government or other institutions come in. Let them have an...
Especially in the Azimio team, led by their chairman, do any deals within 6 months of handing over government. We do not know what other areas of Kenya have been mortgaged. We don't know what else belongs to us in the next few days.
Thank you. Who want to speak? Okay.
Do you have a plan now to block this process?
Of counties in terms of their functions of in the schedule, ratification of treaties, even when an airline, a foreign airline wants to fly to our country, it must seek parliamentary approval through the relevant committee. In ports, already, and I want to answer the previous question, already a Kenyan went to court on SGR seeking the contract, and a principal secretary in his affidavit said it cannot be availed to public. So it's another scandal. So this is the state of state capture, and 4 ports and all the logistic infrastructure have been mortgaged to a foreign company by those who are responsible and who are the cartels of state agents. This is what we are telling the people of Kenya. We have talked about state capture. And I want to say it here, even Parliament and parliamentary reporters are here. Parliament for 2 years rejected the Kenya Aviation Bill, where the whole of Kenya Airports Authority was to be handed over to a private entity. To a private entity. Part of the state capture. We are aware of how National Oil Corporation, the only state-owned oil company, is being handed over. So we are telling the people of Kenya, and all these, let me put it, and that's why President Kenyatta, unlike his predecessor, who were to exit at the end of their term, doesn't want to exit. That's why he's a chairman of Azimio. Now in fact, we have found out why the president wants to succeed himself. Because of all these state capture and state involvement. So, good people, I think the statement given by Honorable Musali on our behalf and the evidence we have provided will help you enough further to go and ask the other partners. I am sure the people of Mombasa will be shocked. They were complaining about the port being transferred, the operations of the port of Mombasa being transferred. Now we are telling the people of Mombasa, your port is gone. The title deed is with the Chinese. The operation and the management and the development is now with DP World. Dubai. And we will even write to DP World through the embassy here. We will not leave this matter because as leaders we are the custodian under the Constitution to protect, preserve national strategic interests. And that's why the framers of our Constitution gave Parliament the people's representative and counties exclusive constitutional mandate to be consulted. That is why public participation under Article 118 is mandatory. The people of Mombasa will be asked in KISII. That is why there is the element of public interest. And senior counsel, lawyers like Honorable Wetangula will tell you. And that's why we're saying in the schedule, harbors are under counties. The operation of the port is under the national government, but harbors and are under counties. So Joe must have said somewhere, faked some minutes, did fake public participation, and but I don't know whether the governor for Nakuru and the governor for Kisumu and even the governor for Machakos, because part of this letter is the infrastructure. So good people, I think you have more questions to ask those who captured the culprits than us. And we are ready to give more, as time goes by. And we can even raise issues one day to the election. There's no timeline. If we find any wrongdoing, we will say it one day to the election. We are not late. We are not late. Thank you very much.
Can we leave it there?
No, I think Alex wants to say something. Okay.
I just wanted to give Kenyans hope regarding this subject, because of course the contracts stink to the heavens and back, that the government of Kenya Kwanza will not be bound to respect or even to implement these contracts. You see, they are long-term contracts because they are illegal, they are unconstitutional. We shall not respect the contracts, we shall disregard them, and those purported beneficiaries who are actually people from this country in top leadership as stated will have to meet the expenses of cancellations of those contracts. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please.
We will notify you.
I think I just want to add one thing, and especially to the Kenyan people, to see how this government treats the Kenyan public with a lot of disrespect and detest. Because if they cared for the people of Kenya, this issue should not have arisen, because they would have been consulted. And I would like to urge the people of the coast region, the people of Mombasa and of Lamu, to look on Nakuru and Kisumu, to look at which coalition has their interests at heart, especially because of this matter, and vote for the Kenya Kwanza, because they can see that this coalition that is currently being managed by the current government definitely does not care for them as counties, as the people at these regions, and also the people of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Well done. How are you?